Hi, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Today, we're going to do an evaluation of a speech, which is literally my favorite thing to do. So, I'm super excited to have Jen on here. She's got a recording of a speech that we're going to go through, and I love it because it's an actual speech that she's given that was recorded so we can get like really authentically how she shows up on stage, which I think is going to be really helpful for us. So, you guys, welcome Jen Kitterman. She is a health empowerment coach. She lives in Utah for only 2 more weeks, and then she is moving to Alabama. So far away. It's exciting. Jen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much, Kelly. I'm excited to hear what you have for me.
Yes, awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do now is hit play on your recording, and I will occasionally stop it and make a comment so that we can like actually see what I'm talking about and before we move on. Cool?
Cool.
And if you have any questions, like if you remember something that you did or said and you were like, should I have done that differently or was that effective? You can also stop me and ask a question too. Okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Well,
I'm back. How many of you would like to wake up first thing in the morning, look in the mirror, and love the person they see? Say yes. Let me try that one more time. That was pretty good. How many of you would like to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and love the person they see? Say yes.
Okay, here's my first comment. When you get excited and you squat down, I feel like it would look better. I don't know how to say this without sounding
It's okay.
so weird. But if you kept your knees together instead when you bend down, because otherwise it looks like maybe you're going to the bathroom.
That's valid. Keep legs together. Let me.
Yes. Keep your knees together when you do that squat, and I think it will look more professional and
More ladylike.
Okay. All right, cool.
Excellent. I feel like I know you guys here in this room. You all want more from your life, but you're so busy helping
There
all
you
the
go.
little people around you, probably a couple of the big people around you.
You like that squat move.
Today, I want to give something back to you.
Do you like to do squats when you work out?
Totally. It's some of my favorite.
So you've got the muscle memory of doing it that way. That'll be a fun challenge to do it with your knees together, your feet together and your knees together.
I should just start wearing a dress, then I won't be able to do it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that might do it. Okay.
Don't touch that. What if I can teach you the keys to limitless confidence? Would that be pretty cool? Say yes. Excellent.
All right, the say yes thing. That's very Tony Robbins. Is that where you've seen it?
No, but I was just trying to get engagement. And I think like definitely towards the beginning, I was super nervous. And so I was like, okay, I need engagement, And so I was like trying to, get the validation, I think, more than
Yeah, right. What order were you in the program? What number speaker were you?
I was third.
Oh, okay. So by that time, they're probably like ready for a break, right?
Yeah, they were all kind of,
Yeah.
And so it was like, all right, let's get
That is tricky.
Yeah.
Was there a break after you?
Yes, it was lunch after me.
Oh, that is actually my favorite time to speak, is the one before lunch. So that's good. You got a primo spot.
Yeah, it worked out.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna hit play.
So I could just tell you the keys, but I'd like to tell you the story of how I gained my confidence. Is that okay? Say yes. Excellent.
Are they saying yes?
They're saying yes, but they're not mic'd like I am.
Okay, good. I don't probably need to tell you this since that's not happening here, but it reminds me for anybody listening, when you are on stage, you are the boss of the room. And if you ask your audience to do something and they don't do it, you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
Because if you ignore it, you lose all your authority. So if they didn't say yes, then you would have to address that issue. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they said yes. My favorite way to address that issue is if they don't do what I say, I'll say this. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not a rhetorical question. Let's try it again. And this time you actually answer me out loud, something like that.
For sure.
So I'm glad they said yes so that you didn't lose your authority. That's good. All right, I'm going to hit play again.
So a couple of years ago, it was a rough time in the world. And it was an especially rough time for me. All of the decisions that I was making were based in fear. I pulled my kids out of school and homeschooled them so that they wouldn't catch COVID. And for some reason, I had a whole bunch of toilet paper because I guess that means safety.
You said toilet paper right when you squatted.
Perfect timing.
That's so funny. I love how you're relating with the audience because everybody during COVID was like, oh my gosh, how do I keep my family from catching us?
Yeah.
So I love that you tell the story of how you kept your kids home so they wouldn't get it and totally relate with the audience. You're building good audience relationship right there. That's awesome.
I don't know. What was the deal with toilet paper? We all had it. It was good. I don't know. So I wasn't leaving my house and I wasn't making connections with anyone. And I got to an all-time high for my weight. And I remember one day sitting on my bed and I just felt powerless. And I thought, I heard in my mind, no one is coming to save you. And I knew that if anyone was going to get me out of this downward spiral, it was going to be me.
Okay, couple comments. I love that you got emotional here. That was really good. Also, I wish that you didn't have the clicker always out and pointing at people. Like
Yeah.
you're always wielding the clicker. And something I try to do is put the clicker down between slides
Mhm.
if there's somewhere near to put it. There's not always somewhere near to put it. So
Yeah.
otherwise you'd have to walk back and forth across the table. And I've spoken at this venue before, so I know it's not super close to go lay the clicker down. But if you have lots of slides, then you really can't do that.
Yeah.
I would say maybe just try to hold it down instead of always wielding it. Have your hands down sometimes. And that your hand gestures are mostly this. Like so far it's been pretty much only this. There is a principle in speaking called the box. And the box is from your shoulders to your hips. And they say try to keep your hands completely out of that box unless you're touching your heart during a really like moving part. Otherwise, keep it out. And you're doing it right here. It's perfect. That's the perfect time to touch your heart because you're telling a really sad part. So good job doing that. That's awesome. Also, there's the concept of T-Rex arms where your elbows are attached to your waist. And I feel like that might be what's happening with your hand gestures, that your elbows are attached to your waist, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to remember, and it feels over the top, but opening your arms and then doing the hand gestures, it looks so much better to the audience, but it makes you feel weird, like you're acting, right? It feels odd.
Mhm.
But I would suggest maybe just trying sometimes to go, oh wait, are my elbows attached to my waist? Okay, let's get them up. And then do your gestures. And it does feel weird. It feels weird to me. And I forget to do it sometimes too. All right, push and play.
And I made myself this video. Oh,
I'm just
there's
here
no
to give you a loving message to let you know that it's time. It's time to make a change, a positive change in your life. time to start eating healthy and exercising and making a positive life change. You're not happy or healthy with the way that you're living right now, and you need to step up your game. It's time to start living the life that you were meant to live. And you want to be here for a really long time. You want to be able to keep up with your kids. And one day keep up with your grandkids. And you do not want to look back and say, I could have done that. So this is your wake-up call. It's time. Start now. Start today. Things aren't always going to be easy, but they will be worth it. And I know you can do it.
That was really powerful. I like that you shared that.
Thanks.
That was very effective. Because I'm sure everybody has had those kind of thoughts and can relate to that. And you were super vulnerable to show that video. It was really good. Good choice.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Sometimes, thank you. Sometimes in our life, we have to be our biggest cheerleader. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you could trace everything back to one decision?
What?
A pivotal moment. This was my moment. And looking back on that moment, I realized something. It's much more important to decide that you will do something than it is to know what to do in that point. And when you make a decision, you will have this inner critic inside your head, and it will say things like, you can't, you won't, you'll never. And you have two choices when you hear this voice in your head. You can either give in to those doubts, and you can say, yeah, I'm just going to go back to safety. That feels scary. Or you can commit to make a change.
Did you notice when you said the word commit, you stepped forward? That was good. That was good body language. I think that your slides could be gone. Like, I think you could do this without slides and it might be better.
Yeah, this was my very first speech, and I was so afraid.
Really? Good job.
So I was like, and that's, the clicker was like my my safety button.
Right? Exactly.
Yes, I definitely see the value in getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But for this, like, that was my comfort place.
I get it. I totally get it. Do you think you could give this without slides? You didn't.
Now I could, yes.
I mean, it's cool to show the video. You could still show the video. But then just have one slide that's like your title slide. And so have that up and then go to the video and then have another copy of your title slide and go back to that. I think that would be really effective. And then you wouldn't have the clicker clutch.
For sure. And then
Right.
I don't know, like, what's a good tip for especially beginning speakers? Like,
Yeah.
I had to have those cues, otherwise my mind would go completely blank.
Oh, so you were using it for the
It was for
TV
me,
in the
it
back.
wasn't for people.
Yeah. That is a good point. I I don't know. It's really important to some people to have the slides because they can't remember.
Yeah.
You could have a piece of paper like on that table in front of you with your bullet points, maybe if you were worried.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Here's what I do. I write my entire speech out word for word, and then I read it out loud, practicing it like 30 times. And then I start taking out sentences, like covering them up. And eventually I get down to just like the keywords that I need to remember. And then I just try to remember what keyword comes next, what comes after this story, what comes after this story. And the more you practice it, the easier it is to remember that. But when you don't have a lot of preparation time or you're trying new material, I would do a little bullet list and just put it on the table in front of you.
Okay.
The Tony Robbins event, the big one that he does with all the millions of Zoom screens now.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then they zoom back and you could see the floor. And they have their speeches completely mapped out on giant poster paper on the floor.
Really?
So
That's cool.
when they're looking down, they're just saying, oh, yeah, where am I in my speech? Okay, here's where I go next.
Okay.
But in person, that wouldn't work because everybody could see the floor in front of you.
Yeah.
I was like, how could you translate that to in person? Because I think it's really genius.
Mm-hmm.
But a little confidence monitor in the back of the room is really nice to have if it's new material.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I would maybe get rid of the stock photography at least and use pictures of you.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot more engaging to have you on those slides instead of strange people that nobody knows.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and stage geography. I want to talk a little bit about that. So you pace back and forth a lot, and that's just probably because you're nervous, right? The pacing is really common when you're nervous. Eventually, I would love to see you plant yourself in the middle of the stage, and then when you talk about something sad or hard or challenging or the past, you move to your right because people read in America, at least, people read from left to right. And as the speaker, you're a book. You're a book being read by the audience. And so when you go to your right, you're going to their left and you're telling the sad parts, your struggle before where you are now. So you want to kind of time travel to the right side of the stage so they energetically feel it. And I've been to places where the speaker has gone the opposite direction and like it like physically hurts me. Like everything in my body goes, ah,
Yeah.
you're going the wrong way. No, I can't handle it. So it's really, I mean, after a while you get so used to it that when somebody goes the wrong way, it's physically painful.
Yeah.
But I would practice instead of pacing, plant yourself in the middle and then intentionally walk over to the right side of the stage for the past. And then intentionally walk back to the middle when you're saying something important, like what you just did, commit, and you stepped forward. Like that was really good stage geography. And then when you're talking about how you resolved the problem or things that are going to happen in the future or, the victory of your life now, then you go to your left. So they're seeing the end of the book, the end of the
Mhm.
story.
Yeah.
I might practice that. And the pacing makes the audience feel nervous
Yeah.
because it translates. One time I used to have speaking contests all the time. And we had this one contestant come and she paced super fast back and forth, literally her entire speech. She'd never stopped. She
Yeah.
never once stopped and just spoke right at us. And when she was done, all three of us judges were panting because she had literally exhausted us
Hmm.
by pacing. You're nowhere near that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's you. I'm just saying the pacing can really make your audience anxious, nervous, and wear them out by the end of your speech.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you have a trick for that, or do you just have to practice? Like, because for me, I read from left to right too.
Yeah,
And so I like that's how I speak, and it's the opposite of what people are supposed to see.
it is. It's just practice.
Okay.
And if you practice your speech standing, practice the stage geography.
Yeah.
Like do the whole performance with your body language and your stage geography and everything so that when you get up on stage, you're already used to going to the left and the right at the appropriate times, because otherwise you'll forget. When you get on stage, most things fly out of your brain.
Yeah.
And so any muscle memory you've got is awesome because you've been practicing it.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like when you're giving a speech, if you are prepared, if you are there with the intention to serve the audience, I feel like God is going to work through you to make sure you say what they need to hear. And if you forget something, it's because it wasn't that important.
For sure.
And maybe God wanted you to say something different that you wouldn't have had time for if you had remembered all the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So also, I just say, let go of worrying about it. As long as you're there with the right intention, ready to serve, you're going to say the right stuff, right?
For sure.
So you don't have to worry that much about memorizing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, let me play again.
Tony Robbins says it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. I like to say, once I commit, I will not quit. Say commit. So commitment is the first key to confidence. And commitment feels good. It's almost as good as completing the goal. It's why I've bought hundreds of courses that say I'll have a better marriage, a better family life, a better financial situation, and it's all for the low, low price of $27. It's so amazing. I'm teaching you how to get this all for free, by the way. I hope you're taking notes. It's like when you're a little kid and you get a new bike and you're not really sure what to do with it yet. You're like, this is really cool and shiny, and you have all these dreams, right? Like, I'm gonna ride this to my friend's house. I'm gonna get a paper route. Is that a thing anymore? Do they have paper routes? I don't know. Or like, I'm gonna be a BMX bike rider, right? And you have all these dreams. So once I made a commitment, that promise to myself, it felt like everything in the world started changing for my good. 2 weeks later, I met my new mentor, Carly, and I found out that she was a health and wellness coach. And she was like, I have this 30-day program to help people get healthy. Like, you should join me. And I was like, this is just what I've been looking for.
Do you hear that? She was like, I was like,
Yeah.
that is something I've been working on, not saying as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I have probably become hyper aware of it when other people say it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is really good to get rid of those. I was like, she was like,
Yeah. How do you get rid of them? I'm trying. I tried really hard.
Instead, you say, and I said, and I did, and she said, it's hard. It is not easy because we all say it. It is the English language, and
Yes.
that's how everybody talks now. So it is tricky, but practice, just practice and becoming aware. And are you in Toastmasters?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you should join Toastmasters. When you move to Alabama, find your nearest Toastmasters, because one of the things they do is every time you speak, they count all your filler words.
Mm.
And I remember the first time I spoke officially in Toastmasters, they counted me saying so 36 times
Wow.
in 4 minutes.
That's pretty good. That's got to be like a record.
Right? Oh my gosh. I became then hyper aware of the word so, obviously. And I try to not say it very often, but I hear people all the time starting their speech with so.
Yeah.
That is almost everybody's favorite opening word. So, right?
Yes.
But right now I'm working on the I was like, she was like, because it sounds too informal, I think,
for
for
sure.
a
Maybe
speaker.
Valley Girl-esque.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to really work on that, I would go to Toastmasters because they will count every time you say it.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Cool.
you'll feel yourself thinking it, and then you'll go, oh wait, I can't say that. And then you'll change what you were gonna say.
Yeah.
So,
Ultimate accountability.
exactly. That's my recommendation for fixing that.
Deal.
Go to Toastmasters and have someone obnoxiously count how many times you did it.
Sounds good.
I know, right? All right, let me hit play again.
Perfect. So I showed up to her first call and she's going through all the things, like this is what you need to do to get the results. And I felt this discomfort come up inside me. And has anyone ever felt discomfort when they're like gonna do something new?
That was really good. Having them raise their hand for that.
So I felt this discomfort and I asked her, why is this gonna be different than anything else that I've tried? I've ridden this roller coaster so many times. Why is this going to be any different? And she said, I can show you all my stats, give you all the testimonials, tell you I've helped thousands of women lose weight. But when the rubber meets the road, the people who will have the most success will be those who are able to sit with discomfort.
Are you hyper aware of your hand gestures now?
Yes.
I'm
and then I need to go take a class on hand gestures.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, that's okay. You'll get it. You'll figure it out. This was your first speech. Good job doing it, right? The hand gestures will come.
For sure.
I was like, tell me more. What does that mean? And she said, think about it. Anytime you try something new, there's always that uncomfortable feeling because we don't have that thing yet. If we were comfortable with it, we would already have the outcome. So to have.
Okay, that was really deep and profound. That is a time where you're going to want to repeat yourself.
Okay.
So say, let me say that again. And then pause. Let them all go, oh, this is important. I better listen.
Yeah.
Maybe I better pick up my pen and then say it again.
Yeah, for sure. I like
Okay.
that.
Good.
The courage to face this discomfort that comes up inside you, you need to make a bigger why. So right now I want to do an activity with you. Think about a goal or a dream in your life right now that you have, but you don't have the outcome yet. Can we get some mics? Who's got the mics? Christy's got the mics. Raise your hand if you have a goal.
I would say raise your hand if you have a goal you'd like to share.
Yeah.
Because then if people raise their hand because they have a goal, they might be like, oh no, I don't
want to share it.
Right.
Good call.
Actually, this is a good time to share this. There's another principle in speaking is you never ever want the audience to feel stupid. And so always give instructions like they're in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So in a moment, I'm going to have you do these steps. Are there any questions? No? Okay, let's begin. Here's step 1. So you give them like a pre-instruction, then ask for questions, and then give them the instructions, let them do the thing. And that way they don't feel like they're going to do something stupid and look dumb in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm worried that if people thought they were just raising their hand because they had a goal and then there's a microphone in their face, they're going to panic.
Yes.
Right.
Good call.
I have a dream to be a bronze sculptor.
A bronze sculptor. Okay, keep standing for me for a minute. If you were to become a bronze sculptor, why would that be important to you?
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking while she's struggling with answers.
Yeah.
And she's feeling super uncomfortable. Maybe if you did this first as a whole group,
Yeah.
what's your goal? Why is that important that you have it? And have them journal on that for a second. And then say, okay, now the answer that you wrote, why is that important?
Yeah.
And so teach them how to go 7. I don't know how many are going, but
Yeah.
that's the typical 7 layer why. Get them all used to it first as a group where it's safe. And then say, I would like to have a volunteer and maybe even bring them up, depending that might make them too nervous. But I would love to have a volunteer share with us your goal and your whys, and then have them raise their hand.
Yeah,
She is obviously really struggling.
for sure.
And then that kind of brings down the energy and makes people think, oh, that speaker's kind of mean. She put her on the spot, subconsciously.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's what I'm thinking in this point right here. What might have worked better.
Yeah, I love that. And there's more questions. You can probably skip ahead to after.
Okay.
Good.
All right, I'll do that.
I think it's like at
I think it's
19 minutes.
Actually, it's helpful if it's someone that actually has the result that you want. And we have these big goals.
Tell me I didn't hear the beginning of it. Are you telling them how to find someone to help them reach their goal?
Yes, I think, sorry, it skipped a little bit of that, but it was just all about talking about their why. Like if
Yeah.
you want to have anything, you need
Yeah.
to get deep on your why.
Okay. And then I like that right here you're saying find someone that's had the result that you're looking for, because that's really good seeding of the idea that you would be a good coach for them if their goal is to have a health transformation. So it's really good to seed during your whole presentation. So at the end, when you offer them a solution to having a health transformation by working with you, they're going to think, yeah, that's a great idea, because you've already seeded the idea in their heads during your whole talk. But yeah, you just seeded that. So that was really good.
Right? They're these huge goals.
And look at your
Learning how to
elbows.
bronze, or learning, like starting a health journey, right? They're these big goals, but
Love
if
it.
you can break it down to what can I do today, then it's easy, right? And add fun. If you add fun and you reward yourself as you go, then it makes it like, oh, this isn't actually hard. I could do this, no problem, right? But if you wait until you have this big goal to reward yourself, you're gonna be like, wait, so I got the thing, but I didn't have any fun along the way. It was just hard, and I just pushed through, right? Add some fun to it. Make it fun.
Your other favorite word is right, right?
Yep, right. Right.
And we get that one a lot at Toastmasters too, right? Like, so, and right.
Mhm. Add
Going
it
back
to
to
the
the
list.
bike analogy, this is like you got your bike all put together, right? And now you got to go ride the bike. And usually you have a coach with you, and your coach is like, okay, you got to put your feet right here, you got hands on the pedal, like keep going straight, right? And you're gonna fall down, and that's okay. And your coach is gonna be like, it's all right, you got this, get back on the bike, right? This is how you get through that courage stage. So I began having courage, but things would happen that would bring more discomfort, like my husband would bring home a plate of cookies, and I'd want to eat the whole plate of cookies, but then I'd stop and remember my why. And I'd ask myself questions like, will these cookies bring me closer to my goal?
You did really good stage geography there. You stopped pacing, and you pointed towards the future. Your why. You said, I remembered my why, and you pointed to the future. That was perfection right there.
Goal. Are these cookies stronger than my why? All the time we're voting with our choices. We're proving to ourselves whether or not we will stand with our commitments. Have you ever pushed through discomfort? Anybody? It feels so good, right? You feel like, I'm amazing. I can do like anything, right? So when you have courage and you walk toward discomfort, or you run through the storm, like Lindsay was talking about, be the buffalo, you start becoming a different person. You start becoming a person who is comfortable with discomfort. As you're doing this, there will be doubts. I don't deserve this. I'm not enough. I don't feel safe. This is why your why needs to be so big. The more you practice tolerating discomfort, the more confidence you'll gain in your ability to accept new challenges. Now, discomfort is my compass. If there's something that I feel like I can't do,
I think I would have paused after that quote, let people have that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, not a literal minute, but like 5 seconds. I would
Yeah.
pause there.
When it's your first speech, it
Yeah.
feels like time is going so, is it slow or fast? I don't know what it is, but I
Both.
feel like I
Both.
felt like I paused for so long.
Pausing
many-
is the most uncomfortable thing for a speaker.
Yeah.
And that's why they never do it, or they never do it long enough. So
Yeah. Do you have a trick for that?
count to 3. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, done. If you can go to 5, oh,
It's so uncomfortable.
so it is so uncomfortable, but it is so powerful to the audience. Oh my gosh. If you can count to 5, do it. I know it is really hard, but at least 3.
Okay.
And look at one person for about, if you do a 3-second pause, look at one person the whole time. Because then the whole audience will feel that connection and they'll feel like you're looking at them too.
Okay.
If you do a 5-second pause, you might make them uncomfortable if you look at one person the whole time. So I would split it between 2 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
like public speaking, I must do it because I need to prove to myself that I keep the commitments that I make. The third key to confidence is capable, and capability feels amazing. You're collecting that evidence, right? Yeah, I'm doing this. I can do it. I'm doing it. It's that cautious optimism. Like, I think I could do that again, right? And this is the point on the bike when your coach lets you go. And you might be a little wobbly, and you might have to put your foot down every once in a while. But you're riding the bike.
That's good. I love your acting out all of the things right here. I noticed something I should probably mention. When I set up an event, I never have a center aisle so that the space in front of you is empty of humans.
Mhm.
That is really tricky. And I think that's maybe the reason you're pacing.
Yeah.
Because you basically have 2 separate audiences.
Mhm.
So you're going from one audience to the other, which is encouraging you to pace. And you don't have any control over that if you're not setting it up. But when I have an event, there is never a center aisle, ever. I have 2 side aisles. If I need aisles at all, the center is all full of tables and people, and then there's an aisle, and then there's more sections of people. But preferably for me, I just have everybody in the center because exactly this.
Yeah.
And if you have people in front of you, they're bouncing your energy back. If you have a big empty aisle in front of you, your energy is slowly just being drained out of the room.
Mhm.
So energetically, it's also a good idea to have people in front of you. So I don't think you could have done anything here because you didn't set this up, and
Yeah.
it would be very disruptive to make everybody get up and move their tables.
Hold on a second.
Right?
The feng shui in here. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think you did the best you could, but I'm thinking that that might be why you're so pacey because you are addressing 2 totally separate audiences there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I can like feel that energetically, like going back, like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So with the help from my coach and my community, I found myself capable of achieving my goals. In my first 30 days, in that 30-day challenge, I lost 18 pounds, and over the next 6 months, another 30, and I've been able to maintain that over the last 3 years. Now, I don't tell you this to show you what I can do, but I tell you this to show you what you can do and what anyone can do if they have a strong enough why. Some people might think success looks like this, right? Or maybe you might even think it's like the stock market. But really what it looks like is something like this. And you feel kind of like a crazy person, right?
That's my favorite slide.
So relatable.
Yeah. If you are gonna have a few slides, that sequence of slides is really good. I would keep those if you do want slides.
Okay, for sure.
Right? Like, yeah, I'm doing this. Wait, no, scary. Like, yeah, let's go. And then it's like, right? Has anyone felt like this? It's like this war inside your mind, right? And then, like Christy was talking about, this is the picture that we post on Facebook, but nobody sees the background. So I achieved my goal. I lost 50 pounds, but so much more than what I lost was what I gained. I gained the confidence that I could do whatever I decide, because once I commit, I will not quit. Say commit. So I felt so powerful that I ended up becoming a coach in that same program, Fierce. And now I've been able to help hundreds of women achieve their goals, and they come in feeling powerless like I did. And to watch them step into their power is such an amazing.
That was good stage geography. Did you see that?
Yeah. There were very few things that I practiced.
And
good. You're right. I'm seeing the muscle memory like, oh, I actually practiced that one.
Yes, good job.
Process. So once I was finally able to get out of my own way, I was able to achieve massive gains. Do the thing and you will have the power. Confidence is the power to have whatever you want in your life. So confidence is the fourth key, to confidence. And when I heard it was a step, I was like, wait, shouldn't there just be 3 steps and then you got to confidence? But the thing is, there's no destinations. It's a part of the journey, right? There's unlimited destinations. So I became confident in this, and now I'm going to go become confident in this, and it's a part of the journey. So confidence, let's break down the word real quick. The first part is confide, which means to trust. So we're learning to trust in ourselves. And as we keep those commitments to ourselves, we're proving to ourselves that we can trust ourselves. And confidence feels incredible. You're doing it. You're riding the bike all by yourself. You're not wobbly anymore, right? And I rode the confidence loop on that, and now I'm going to ride the confidence loop again, and I'm going to learn how to ride without my hands, and then I'm going to go be out on the BMX track, right? It'll be so cool. So tell me, what is the difference between that Jen and this Jen? Confidence. That's it. Was there anything wrong with that Jen? No. In fact, I go back to that Jen often, and I say thank you. Thank you for choosing to live bigger. Thank you for choosing to live better. Look, you did it. Look at the life you're living. Your success depends.
Okay, I think at that point, because you got pretty emotional for a while, I would acknowledge it and say, as you can see, I am so overcome with gratitude for this that it gets me really emotional. And just say it. Just point it out, because everybody's thinking, wow, she's really emotional about this, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would be very effective, to just acknowledge it and say, yes, I do get really emotional about this because I am so grateful for it.
Yeah, for sure. I like that.
Okay.
It's mainly upon what you think of yourself and whether you believe in yourself. It wasn't until I started believing and acting like I deserved what I wanted, started serving my body instead of punishing my body, that I was able to go all in on my health, all in on my happiness, and all in on my dreams, because I am worthy. Say, I'm worthy.
That's
Say,
good.
I am powerful.
Nice.
Who's ready to claim their power?
That's so good.
I'd love to continue this confidence journey with you, so I'm doing a free 2-hour workshop. Everybody pull out your phones. Do you have them? Everybody pull out your phones.
Good
If you
transition.
can't attend live, there will be a recording. And if there's anybody that you know that needs a confidence boost, feel free to take a picture and send this to them. I have so enjoyed spending time with you this morning, and I want to end on this. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most.
I love
Thank
that
you.
poem. Yay, good job. What a great ending. Super powerful. You weren't weird about the offer. I love that you weren't weird about it. So many people, they get to the end with their free offer and then they get all weird. So good job not getting weird. That was great.
Thanks.
Excellent. All right. Do you have any questions?
I don't know. Now that I've watched it, especially with you, I'm like, okay, squatting.
Lots of squats.
I feel like that was really helpful just for you to kind of point out the things. Now I feel like I have to go and give my speech again.
Absolutely. Yes. This needs to be your signature presentation. You should give it all the time, hundreds of times. Right?
Yeah.
Right? You hear me? I'm doing it too. Right?
I was teaching you. I was seating you on that.
You were. You were rubbing off on me. I love it. All right. That was awesome. I thought you did a great job. That is so good for a first time speech. Your energy was up. You were super clear, very easy to understand. You enunciate really well. You had a very logical flow to your speech. Just, make those few little tweaks that we talked about, and it's going to be incredible and amazing. So good job.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
You're welcome. So now, if anybody watching this actually wants some health coaching from you, how could they get in touch with you?
Just go to jenkitterman.com, and I'm always doing free 1-week challenges.
Ooh,
Or like weight loss challenges, really super fun, and keep the energy up. So, yep.
awesome. That is great. So I'll put that in the show notes,
Cool.
JenKitterman.com, in case somebody doesn't know how to spell it. And hopefully people come have a fun transformation with you.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks for being on. Thanks for being vulnerable. I'm so excited for what you're going to do with this speech and where you're going to go and start giving it in Alabama.
Deal.
Right? Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Jen. Thanks for being on the episode today. And everybody, have an amazing day. Get a hold of Jen if you want help with your own health transformation. And if you want to be on the podcast and share your speaking story or get a speech evaluation, look in the show notes for how to contact me, and we will get you on the podcast too. All right, everybody have an amazing day. We will see you next time. Bye.